Each news time, information is power. The current. The news headline: Armed Biafra National Guard fighters threaten Buhari government demand release of detained Nnamdi Kanu commanders. The news in full. The Biafra National Guard, one of the secessionist movements clamoring for the independence of the southeast region from Nigeria, as threatening to defend Biafra land at all costs. In a video obtained by Sarah reporters, the group warned the Nigerian government under President Muhammadu Buhari to desist from killing or further arresting its members and citizens, as it reeled out many names of its leaders currently in detention. The video shows the armed fighters of the BNG in a forest believed to be in the southeast. The group said its defense headquarters is in Nsukka in Enugu. Also, one of the commanders who was captured in the video said that the group has just embarked on a mission to arrest the Abia State Commissioner of Police, Jane Agbede. Members of the group was heard saying, "This is the BNG, Biafra Nation, coming from their mission. Today is the 13th December 2021, and these men are ready to defend their motherland at all costs." The First Defense Movement welcome back gallant soldiers. The mission went successfully and we are ready to defend Biafra land by all means. A commander of the group said in the video, "Friend and lovers of freedom all over the world, this is the 13th of December 2021 and we went on a mission yesterday and we went to trigger our self-defense. We have started to defend our nation, which we have declared. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu must be released and the federal government be warned. Mazi Ben Onwuka must be released and federal government must be warned. Mazi Chukwuemeka must be released, and we know we can be heard loud and clear because Biafra is our right. These are our Biafran vehicles. We are Biafran army, Biafrans all over the world. We are the Biafran army, and these were the wordings of these BNG guards. The Defunct Social Democratic Party, SDP, Professor Yowuse Aga has urged separatist agitators to go about the agitations in a civilized manner to avoid bloodshed. In an interview with Vincent Kalu, the Professor Agia, a former senator who has served twice as minister and twice as ambassador, said that the 3 zones that have produced presidents should wait for the other 3 zones to have presidents. After that, he noted that the president should be chosen purely through popular contest, devoid of zoning. Many Nigerians have tried to go back in history to situate Nigerians' problems in the amalgamation of 1914. They say that Nigerians' amalgamation into one country should never be taking place because of our differences. These groups insist that the amalgamation's expiration date is over and is now the time for the dissolution of the federation. But I say these people are wrong. There is no manual for the formation of nations. Wars, accidents, imperialism, necessity, agreement, arbitrations, and consensus have all given birth to countries. Our nation was born from imperialism and it became a British colony after the Berlin Conference of 1884 to 1885. But we shook off the shackles of colonialism and emerged as an independent nation. The whole world still understanding that Nigeria would be a great nation and would wipe away the tears of all black people of the world by building a great democracy and a republic where justice and honor, peace and progress will be showcased. The reasons for the failure to attain greatness are that we have poor leaders and poor followers who have not been able to make nation building their number one priority. Our leaders have continued to wallow in ethnic racism and corruption. Ironically, it was based on Pan-African unity and nationalism, and our founding fathers got independence. But soon after independence, we have systematically destroyed every fabric of nation building through corruption and ethnic racism. The last 6 years have been the very worst in throwing up Nigeria's fault lines. The parties have failed to give leadership and they lack ideological commitment, purpose, or clarity. The weak institutions of states have been unable to defend democracy, and the Nigerian people have yet not resolved on national greatness. When we decide, nobody can stop us, the professor says.
The professor also noted that the Nigerians elite must come together and overcome their apathy and decide to make Nigeria great through comprehensive restructuring of the federation, saying that we need more efficient and leaner federal civil and public service, and that we need the state to be stronger and the federal government to divest itself of its overwhelming control at the center, saying that we must resolve to tackle tribalism with greater intensity than we have fought corruption, saying that the last thing we need to do in addressing our nation's calamity is to recruit into politics and public sphere people with sound character who see wrong as wrong and who are courageous to stand up to forces that seek to destroy Nigeria. Asking about insecurity, saying that we started with Boko Haram and now ISWAP, saying that the United Arab Emirates recently named some Nigerians sponsoring the insurgent group, saying that Nigerians were excited, thinking that those who have contributed to the plunging this country into the crisis that has got millions of dollars and the carnage that followed will be prosecuted. However, the presidency said charging them is not a priority, and the professor was asked about his view on this particular statement. Response saying that the view is that the government has been living in denial and that Nigeria is first starting from a civil war that religious extremists and ethnic bigotry have foisted over us. The government has invented semantics of deception, which is helping terrorists by packaging them as bandits and even worse, non-state actors. I was walking on eggshells to call the foreign Fulani terrorists arsonists, rapists and land grabbers through genocide as non-state actors. Kidnapping has been packaged as a foreign flourishing business as well. Perhaps this government is slowly manufacturing our consent and clandestining origin of our surrender to a Taliban-type insurrection, and the facts are too glaring to say otherwise, saying that the government knows the sponsor of these asymmetric wars and they know how to block their funding and know far more than they wish the public to know. We lift our eyes to God in the knowledge that every terrorist era has an expiry date, and may God Almighty hasten such expiry. And this was the response of the professor, talking about how the government has claimed, to be weak to address the situation of the terrorism in the nation. The movement for the actualization of the sovereign state of Biafra, MASOB, has celebrated the release of 19 of their members who have been detained since 2006. The celebration coincided with 10 years anniversary of the death of Igbo leader Dim Chukwuemeka Odumegwu Ojukwu, Eze Igbo Gburugburu. In a statement, MASOB leader Uchenna Madu described Dim Chukwuemeka Odumegwu Ojukwu as the greatest Igbo man that has ever lived. The statement reads in part: Dim Chukwuemeka still remains the greatest Nigerian man that ever lived. He laid an unforgettable foundation for enhancement and restoration of true Africanism and total liberation of black man from Western domination. Ojukwu was the president of Biafra and the general of the People's Army. He stood for justice, total freedom, and equity for us all. We are celebrating a living legend, a symbol of Igboism, the lion that is fear conquers the enemy of his people. Today, we have gathered to reflect, refresh, and revive the consciousness of Ojukwuism in Igbo land.